Happy New Year, my friend. Welcome to 2024. It is so fantastic to be here with you. And I just want to give you a little preview. If you are curious about what to expect for 2024, both astrologically, what you can expect with it being an election year here in the States, and for those of you all around the world, just curious in general, maybe wanting to know about the different energies, what is happening with Pluto and Aquarius, all those questions and a lot more, including some really interesting and surprising facts, are part of the conversation today with the Astrotwins. The Astrotwins are identical twin sisters. They are professional astrologers who reach millions worldwide. They are the official astrologers for Elle magazine. They've written so many different books, including Love Zodiac and Mom Astrology. They have their 2024 planner out. They're so fantastic. And I know you are going to love this episode of the You-est YOU podcast. So buckle up, my friend. We are going for a space ride into different dimensions. I don't want to give it away, but this is going to be a powerful conversation. I know that will give you inspiration for the year to come. So may it bless you, and it's a blessing to be here in your ear, part of your life, and I'm just so grateful. Here's to your You-est YOU in 2024. Well, I just want to say I've been thinking about you all year, both of you, and so excited to have you back to talk about 2024 and all the things that we need to know about this year and maybe some other years coming up. And oh my gosh, Tali and Ophi, I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for coming back to the You-est YOU
Oh,
podcast.
so great to be back again. Yeah. Can't believe a whole year has gone by. Like, how did that even happen?
I know. And I'm like, I literally have had it in my calendar, like, we're doing this again. This was so fun. It was so helpful. And so I think a good place to start is being 2024 now. What do we need to know? Like, I have an amazing audience of listeners all over the globe. Some are very proficient in astrology, others are not. So perhaps maybe like giving us the full kind of what we can expect for this year in all the different angles that you want to take. I will just throw it over to you. And I know both of you are a pro at this together. So please share what do we have to look forward to? Maybe we start with that angle.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. Well, yeah.
Go ahead, Ophi, if you want.
I was going to say, well, every year we've started giving the years a theme. So it kind of gives us a focus to put our energy around. And we've named, and it's based on the overarching repeating themes and how they seem to come together for us. So we named 2024 the year of transcendent leadership. And the reason for that was because it's an 8-year in numerology, which is about power. It's a year of the dragon, which is about transformation and power. So is the 8. And then various planetary things happening. Plus, it's an election year in the USA by coincidence, serendipity, divine timing. I don't know. But we decided like that is a really great focal point for the world. And the idea behind it is that for so long, we've all been waiting for a leader to show up who tells us what to do. And that model is broken. So finding the leader within yourself, or looking at leadership not as you were elected and a ballot, but rather like in all the micro individual moments of your life, there's an opportunity to be a leader or a follower, in the driver's seat in whatever way you can be, or kind of at the effect of what's happening around you. So we dedicated our book to this being the true dawning of the age of Aquarius. We'll get into that. And also just an opportunity for people to rise and shine in their own inner power, bring it out.
Love that. Did you want to add anything, Tali?
Sure. Well, the shift, there's going to be a palpable shift from 2023. So 2023 we called the year of what if, which we named a year ago, kind of saying that the themes were kind of going to see people focusing on that question of what if in one of two ways. Spiraling out into apocalyptic anxiety, which this year has proven to have some good reason to give us to do in moments, but also then going from, we say, enervation, that anxiety, to innovation. So and we went, AI took, was the big story, the big, both creating a Hollywood writers strike and all kinds of new opportunities this year. And so we're moving out of this sort of being the victims, being at the effect of. The planet Neptune was really strong in 2023, and Neptune's a planet of fantasy, illusion, crisis, sacrifice, which is what the rabbit, it's a water rabbit year, uh, is ruled by Neptune. We're going from Neptune, passive Neptune, to active, even aggressive Mars. Mars is the ruler of the dragon. So it's almost like we're going from this Pisces energy, which is creative and numinous and flowy, to Aries energy, which is like take charge, blaze trails, make it happen. And that's also, 2023 was a 7 year in numerology, 2024 is an 8 year, and it's also the same. From thinking to doing is the big shift that we're all going to feel. And it may seem like people are doing a lot right now, but more thoughtful, direct, and focused action. We're going to be able to make decisions without spiraling out. It's going to become clear in 2024 what the right action is, and we won't be sitting there navel gazing forever, or freaking out, or having a truly justified triggered reaction.
So this is so helpful. I'm like taking copious notes, and I think something that you said is this palpable shift, which I would imagine. I remember we talked about the what if, and you were actually talking about AI like on the cusp. It's so funny. Like a year now, I'm like, oh my gosh, it definitely had that feel to it. Let's talk about transit. Yeah, for sure. Yes.
People really got apocalyptic with AI, like humans won't be needed anymore. And it's like, no, I tried to see if it could write my daily horoscopes for me just for the hell of it, and it couldn't. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Also,
we will not be replaced by robots. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit well, in terms of transcendental leadership, to like go a little bit more. I love the theme. I think of 8 also like as an abundant number, right? 8 is
Yes.
about abundance.
Yes, for sure.
Maybe to talk a little bit more about the numerology of that, what that means, the year of the dragon, and like going a little deeper into the transcendental leadership.
Mm-hmm. So
Ophi, you want
we
to?
can talk about the year of the dragon. So the lunar years are actually associated with Jupiter. Jupiter's move, it takes 11.8 years to go through all the signs. So Jupiter is about abundant and where we take risks and where we branch out of what we've done. So each lunar new year is an opportunity to try something new and out of our comfort zone. That's what makes them very special. Even though they're lunar, they're really directed by Jupiter. So the dragon is the only animal in that system that's not an animal. It's a creature. So the last dragon years were 2000, which was Y2K, and 2012, which was the end of the Mayan calendar, the end of the world as we know it. So each of those dragon years brought us into a new energetic kind of space or state. Maybe it's going to bring us more into the 5D. I don't know how many Ds there are. Someone I know talks about 12D. I'm like, I guess we just keep adding more and more dimensions as we go. So I'll raise you one and meet you in the 13D. But either way, there is a new dimension with which we have to interact on this planet with each other. If we look around from the 3D, meaning what we can experience with our senses and control with our minds and our skills and our talents, we can see that what the world needs now has exceeded the capacity of what we can do with that skill set. So, all the wars breaking out show us that too. Like we're not actually, we're using these tools that are dividing us more. We're talking at each other. There's nothing there's no shared greater intention that we're all trying to solve for. This side wants this side wants that, and they're just going to keep shouting at each other or shooting at each other until one of them gets the other one, to surrender. Like, we need to get out of those paradigms. And the year of the dragon and an 8-year may sharpen the divide before it brings us together. But we will see a group of people that are like, we're just exiting out of that model altogether. Let's try something new over here. And that's where transcendent leadership really has an opportunity. Like, you can keep posting everything you want on social media, and the people that agree with you are going to like it. The people that disagree with you are going to block you or argue with you in the comments. What's a new model besides that? The transcendent leader will experiment with that. One of the 2023 year of what if opportunity pathways was from fear to and control to curiosity. So we are, coming into 2024, having an energetic portal opened up that allows us to access curiosity more. One of our friends just wrote a book called Seek that's about curiosity. It's a curiosity expert, and some really, really great stuff in that book. And we're coming into 2024 really to encourage that spirit of trying to find common ground or a common desire or intention. I don't know if that answers what you were asking about, but yes. Yeah.
I mean, like what you're saying, transcending is to rise above, not to rise out of, but to kind of, can we get out of this? Well, you did this to me in antiquity, and I did this to you, and that we do need to own up to the past, but 2024 may be a time where we realize that we have to make space for the future as well, in spite of the past. And it's hard to rise above when there's so much, but yeah.
Well, speaking of the future, one of the big things that's happening is that Pluto, which shapes generations, it shapes real big blocks of time from like 12 all the way up to 30 years. Usually it's in the 12 to 20 year range. It is moving out of Capricorn, where it's been since 2008, and into Aquarius. So we had a little sneak preview of that, from March 23rd to June 11th of 2023. Aquarius is about technology, but also community coming together. So that was right when the whole Chat GPT thing exploded. It was right on cue. But this year we've got Pluto in and out of Aquarius and Capricorn. Its final dance. And then on November 19th, it goes into Aquarius for 20 years. So we're saying that this is really, truly the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The last time it was there was the late 1700s. So
that was a time of a lot of revolutions. The French Revolution, the Haitian Revolution, the Constitution was signed. It was the end of the American Revolution. So it's like that. It is kind of, it's like Aquarius is the sign of democracy and fairness and community and unity and oneness. So with Pluto, that is the destroyer and the transformer moving in there. It's like, where are there false models of togetherness and democracy that need to be kind of swept away, to make space for ones that truly do serve? I don't know if we'll solve it or not, but we have 20 years where that is like the Pluto wrecking ball is coming in to make sure that we see, so we sometimes have to see the hard stuff before we can create the right solution. There's enough force. When Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008, we had all the more Capricorn ruling banks in the economy. We had all the mortgage crisis and the bank bailouts. And when it moved into Sagittarius the cycle before in 1995, all these, that was publishing and global relations, Sagittarius, we had the internet being really developed and creating a new sense of global connection, but also taking down all these old school magazines. I'm sure some of our favorites disappeared. So what will Pluto AI is only one of the disruptors that we'll see with Pluto and Aquarius, the sign of technology, science, democracy, community.
It's going
And
to
we should
really
all
be
get
like,
ready for changes this year, like big changes in how communities share resources. Yeah, I don't know if you want to add.
we're seeing things, we also look at Jupiter and its travels. So Jupiter is splitting the year between Taurus and Gemini. So the first half of the year is rooted, and Jupiter's where we grow and expand to. It is related to the year of the dragon, but Jupiter is in Taurus until May 25th. And Taurus is Earth. It's about our material 3D world, money, resources, that kind of thing. So we do see, maybe, and it's together with Uranus, which rules technology. So we do see maybe a crypto comeback, or some way that a digital currency arrives to maybe be part of that democratization for people, where people who live in developing societies where they do everything on their phones have access to financial freedom tools through technology.
Yeah.
There's a positive spin on it, as well as always the shadow. Pluto always has its shadowy power, grabbing side, but it also can be the phoenix that rises from the ashes. So, what else I would say about that is, Jupiter will be in Gemini in the second half of the year, which relates to neighborhoods, schools, education, transportation. So that could be a time when we finally see electric cars or some other thing that has yet to be invented taking off. We've projected in our 2024 book a lot of the ways it could go. Another way is that all those empty office buildings could be turned into micro schools, micro communities, new, community colleges may become the new campus. I mean, you mentioned that you have a child who's, your daughter is applying to colleges. Well, it's getting really hard to get into some of those schools too, and expensive for a lot of people. So how can we democratize access to the level of education that's needed to keep our society growing? So those are some of the things that Jupiter and Gemini are going to have us all collectively try to problem solve and grapple with.
What I'm hearing, it sounds like a reimagining. When I think of the transcendental leadership, it's like that goes to education, that goes to community, reimagining. Even the idea of I could imagine the micro charter schools, or, communities working locally together. So love hearing that. Obviously the focus on unity and community. With Pluto going into Aquarius, what does that look like for more on the individual level? Because I love thinking about it for the macro, but also for each of us, for anyone listening, what is that going to look like? What's that going to feel like for the person listening?
Right.
What is that?
We're already kind of feeling it in the way that relationships are we've been saying relationships are going through an iOS update. People are finding new structures around family, around the way they even structure their marriages or their commitments. Aquarius is about freedom. Pluto is a planet of sexuality and even possessiveness and our intimate connections. So there may be, we're already, categories may dissolve even further between people. But with gender becoming so fluid in recent years, relationships may become more fluid in terms of people making different arrangements than simply the monogamous one-on-one way of doing things, because we're all becoming, Pluto and Aquarius is going to make us all a lot more interdimensional in our lives. I think that I've noticed there's been a real growing popularity of parts work, family systems therapy. A lot of coaches are talking, it's IFS, internal family systems. Every time I'm on a coaching call now, it seems like people have done the training and are doing parts work. And we think of astrology as the ultimate parts work, because every planet is like a member of your cosmic family, but that's a side note. Parts work is amazing preparation for Pluto and Aquarius, because rather than honoring, I am a happy person, I am an avoidant attacher, I have intergenerational trauma. Okay, that's true. And then you also have this, and they can all be operating like a chorus at once. There's a cacophony coming that we need to learn how to. So people are needing, and I think we're going to see more and more of this, to create different support networks for different parts of their humanity, and that may not, line up with the Aquarian age needs are different than the agrarian age needs of farming, and like, my family's got to get up at the crack of dawn and milk the cows. It's like, now what do we have to do? Just not have iPads at the table. So our it's just going to be interesting to see how our spiritual, ethical landscape shifts. And that doesn't necessarily mean everyone's going to turn polyamorous either. This could also be true with needing to work more than one job in order to feel satisfied, or so honor the multiverse,
multi-dimensional. We've been multi-hyphenates, multi-passionate. Now we're going to become multi-dimensional. Like, it's almost, I would liken it actually to motherhood. That's because I've had people ask me, like, I want to have kids, but I'm afraid of losing myself. It's like, you don't actually lose yourself, but another self has to simultaneously exist with the self that already does. So you're actually living two realities at the same time, especially if you're a working parent. And one is this very focused, goal, intentional one, and the other is very like spread out. You're looking at everything, and they really sometimes don't always sync up well together. So being multidimensional will present us with, like, how do I be these two or more selves of myself at the same time? How do I get those parts of myself to coexist harmoniously and do and that's maybe why we're going to need AI, because AI might end up being a great assistant and helper and shortcut to allow us to be like, I can't be all these things at once. So how do I take the cream off the top? How do I take the parts that only I can do and kind of delegate out the parts I can't? So we may end up partnering with technology in order for this to happen. But, we got 20 years.
Jupiter and Gemini.
We got some time.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually love this. We could go into a whole nother conversation another time about the honoring the parts. And I was just thinking, my gosh, this is so beautifully, it does link so beautifully to astrology, the different planets and what houses and how that we're not one dimensional, we have so many aspects to ourselves. And so it just sounds like what's happening is literally astrologically that is going to be mirroring what's true, and even seeing the IFS, the parts work, doing that kind of work. It's been growing, and it's so interesting. It's like an alignment with what you're saying astrologically. It's cool.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Super cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything surprising that you are predicting or sensing could be on the rise? And if so, what is that?
April is going to be a really intense month. So everyone should kind of prepare. in advance. There's going to be that total solar eclipse in that is visible on April 8th over much of the US, especially in Texas. And it happens to be in Aries, which is the sign of the transcendent leader, but also the warrior. And uh, a couple weeks later, on April 20th, um, the there's going to be a connection between Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus, which uh, and the United States is having what's called its Chiron return. So Chiron is the wounded healer comet, and it's coming back around as it does every 49 to 50 years to where it was the same point where in Aries, the same point where it was when the U.S. was formed on July 4th, 1776. So there's going to be like some interesting, a new presidential candidate could emerge that month. A third
Right? We
party
did see
candidate
that.
could, yeah, there could be some major developments. We may have some surprises in terms of, or even the U.S. taking a interesting or shocking position on a world event that changes
Mhm.
everyone's relationship to how we
Yeah.
globally interact with each other.
That
Fun,
could be
fun,
the
fun. And on a
first.
personal level, yeah, on a
Go ahead. Go ahead.
personal level, that is a huge month of personal awakening and epiphanies for people.
Mm.
I really recommend that people stay grounded as much as possible. Like there could be like an inner earthquake coming that month. Like whatever you can do to not take risks in April. Also, Mercury's retrograde from April 1st to 25th. So it could be a profound, if you set yourself up by, that would be a great time to do a retreat, to be around the most supportive, inspiring, practical people that you know, but not a great month for, spinning out and doing all kinds of new things. It's like a time to really go within, go deeper, find your magic.
And that Chiron return that she mentioned, by the way, is exact on election day. So this is going to be,
No. Is it
yeah,
really?
it is.
Sorry, I had to interject.
Yeah.
Is no. Oh gosh.
Yes, please. Yeah, interject away. Yep, it is.
Gosh.
So it's going to be interesting. It's like all of that pain that is baked into like what is in the roots of the United States is going to be expressed at the ballots, at the polls, at the so it's going to be interesting.
Wow.
Hopefully, not in the non-interesting version of the word, but
So get
like
involved, everyone. Get involved if
start
you
your
want to have a say.
transcendent leadership, like start making, and
Yeah.
again, that doesn't mean running for office, that doesn't mean politics, just like where truthfully we have enough of that. Like what people need more is the energetic field of the heart and the soul and the different, which
Mm.
chakra are you go. The 8 is very much about the and the symbol we used on our book cover is that of the Ouroboros, the dragon or the serpent that eats its own tail, symbolizing the infinite and symbolizing that everything goes back to its origins and cycles through. So it is a karmic year, but it's also, it's about that Kundalini awakening too. So pick your favorite chakra and which one do you want to operate from? How think with every person you meet. I recommend the heart or throat, or third eye, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't really actually haven't.
And think
Pick
about
your
all of them and
choose your own
cycling.
chakra adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but where do you want to emanate? Like we need transcendent leadership can also be invisible power. It doesn't have to be like something you do and run for office and stick picket signs in somebody's lawn and ask everyone to vote for you. It's like, what energy do you want to exude and put into, the collective energetic sphere?
That's so beautiful. I want to come back to your book in a minute. I have a question though. This is just coming to me, and I don't know if you have thoughts on this. Because I also think, you were talking about the different Ds, the 5D, the fifth dimension, and
Please,
So,
I
oh,
think.
Julie, I think you froze.
oh no.
We lost you for a minute. We didn't ever.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're
Yes.
back. All right, friends, this happens sometimes. We're just going to keep going. All right.
Mercury's retrograde at time of recording. What can you do?
What can you do? I was going to say. Well, what I was saying is, you were talking earlier about the different Ds, the dimensions, right? We are definitely in the three, moving into the fourth, or moving the fourth to the fifth. And I just wonder, and I don't know if this is something either of you have thoughts on, but when I think of this leadership, this new leadership, I also do think, does this also mean connecting with beings, light beings from the veil, across the veil, from other realms,
Absolutely.
psychic abilities? Like, I will spare details, but it's something I've noticed personally, intuition opening. And I'm like, I just got to ask. I hear this from many
I
of
have,
the
yeah.
listeners and
There's a
clients.
real reason. There's a reason that's happening, and it began to really speed up in 2023. So Saturn, which is the planet that brings things into tangible form, has joined Neptune, the esoteric spiritual planet, in Pisces, the most psychic sign, the sign that rules otherworldly beings, life after death, you know, angels and light beings. So they're really coming into form now. They're entering through our dreams. They're communicating with us through dreams, but also waking signals. And yeah, people's intuition. That's one thing that people can really, really do. To get ready for April or the whole year, because we actually have a Pisces eclipse, the first in a 2-year series on September 17th, which is going to awaken that energy even more. So this is definitely a year to learn how to create a practice, which is a Saturn word, a practice for connecting with those guides, beings, or that part of yourself. People can learn. I saw that Pisces rules the afterlife, and I saw in the news, which is very Saturn and Pisces, that that there's been some scientific developments around death and understanding what happens at the time of death. So I do think one of the surprises of 2024 could be that we get some quantum leap information about death. Another surprise that we
And the
predicted in
soul.
2023 that's happening now, when Jupiter went into Taurus on May 16th of this past year, we were like, that's going to help the economy, not, maybe we won't have a recession. So I do think that we may see the economy improving in ways that
Mm-hmm.
are unexpected. And so, like, even though inflation might not get better right away, but or like the interest rates may not drop. However, the job market is likely to remain strong, and we may have bypassed that recession. Fingers crossed. So
Mm-hmm. Yes.
let's.
But star beings and Pleiadians and get ready for lots more conversations about that. Seeping in to what, we're going to need those. I feel like the tools of the 5D, like light language and that sort of thing, are going to start to become like, that's the out there weird thing that astrology was when we started our careers 25 years ago or whatever. That's going to start to become the new normal over time, over probably the 20 years of Pluto and Aquarius. But if you're already getting hits of it, I'm not surprised, because you're going to be one of the people that bridges those worlds. So I think surprise is like, what happens after the death of the body to the soul? How do we access these other dimensions and the beings that are communicating to us from them? This is not anything that I was raised to think about or believe. It's just like from my experiences, like yours and my intuition. I'm like, they used to think the world was flat. It's not. So who are we to say that those things are not happening. Like, I'm open to all of it because I have no proof that it's not real.
Yeah. Well, and I'm got chills as you were speaking, and I'm listening, and I'm just going to invite everyone, as whoever you're listening now, to like feel with your intuition. You said it earlier, both of you, about choosing the chakra, choosing from that you said it was interesting, the heart, the throat, the third eye. I'm like, oh, these are all upper level chakras. These are all like the, less of the lower, nothing wrong with, we want all of them. But more of that, it feels Aquarian to me, more elevated, more, like, the speaking, your heart, your intuition. And, I'm just so curious about this with the star beings, the Palladium, like the light, the way it's funny. I was literally, this is not like something you want to think about before you go to bed. I was literally thinking about this last night about, like, if we are not our bodies, then do you just get to bounce around wherever you want? Like, I was thinking about, like, what happens, like, after, you move from this life.
Got another little Mercury retrograde blip.
Oh my goodness. Did it stop again? Hilarious.
Yeah, you said
All I heard
was our bodies. Then,
oh my gosh! All right, I'm sorry. We will patch this up.
The beings are like, hi, we want to be known.
Of course, but
hilarious.
Honestly, though, like, I've experienced that on readings. Sometimes when I start to tell someone about something, like a very high vibration of their chart, like the connection will drop. It's almost like you're sending out this like high frequency information or thought, and it's like doesn't get caught, it like disrupts the circuits, it breaks the grid that we're in,
Oh, I feel similarly. Well, it feels to me like this, there are support systems, there's energy, there's beings, there's whatever you call it, angels, light beings, higher frequency, love dimensional beings that want to help, that are here to support. It feels Aquarian to me. I am definitely not at the level of either of you, but it feels like, I don't know, I'm just what I've experienced and noticing. And so I think it's beautiful when you think of the the transcendental leadership, like this idea that it's our higher self, your you-est you, your soul self, and maybe even calling in, just really getting there's other energies, high energies that are here to help. Makes me feel better.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say that you're not at our there is no level. Like, that's what the new Aquarius age and transcendental leadership is like.
Nice.
I don't meditate. You do. Like, I'm not at your level there if we're looking at it that way. It's like we all have the ability, like, we should think of ourselves as all radio towers, and we can expand our frequency to pick up signals through whatever modality we use. I use astrology and other things. You use meditation, and however you connect to it. And it's just, if you're having those thoughts, then you are calling it, you're tuning into that station. So I've jokingly said, like, the Pluto and Capricorn phase in 2008 started with the first Black president. Then halfway through we got the first orange president, and then I've joked, like, is the end of it going to be the first alien? But and I've said that for a while, like, really, like, ha ha ha. But now that, like, given what's been happening since Pluto went into Aquarius with all the UAPs, I'm like, there could be, I mean, we should maybe even not dismiss that. Maybe my joke is actually picking something up. So that's just an example of, like, how we'll say something because it's it's like a radio station that you can just hear faintly, but you're starting to get the crackles of it. Maybe that's happening to you before you go to bed, and you have a thought about what happens to our bodies after, what happens to our souls after our bodies expire. I mean, there's lots about reincarnation, but I think, like, where is that space that you go to after your body is no longer breathing and doing the biological functionings of its time on Earth? Like, what might we find out?
Right.
The next 20 years, and especially the next, 2 years while Saturn is in Pisces, until early 2026. that could be it. There could be some answers.
I love that. One of the things I wanted to ask you is about how to plan for the different events, the different astrological happenings. And I realized as I was asking that, that's what you have is a book with a
That's
planner.
what we have, and I'm
Can
holding them
you?
up now. So,
Oh my gosh, they're
yeah.
awesome. Beautiful. Talk about it.
We write a big, we write a book every year. Ophi can be the Vanna White and holds it up. But
Big.
we write a book every year that maps out. This year we have 5 key themes for every sign in detail. Every sign has 5 things that the planets are going to be focused on. And then we have hotspot dates, the important dates, probably about 50 of them every month that you can flip through every day and see, okay, Venus just changed signs. Mercury will be retrograde for 3 weeks. These 2
New
planets
moon,
are talking to
full
each
moon.
other. A lot of what we saw over the years was people marking up the book and writing. So we actually are offering it in a new form this year. We made one for every sign. We made a planner. So the big book is great for your coffee table for sharing, and this one's for your nightstand or your purse. It actually combines a calendar. So it's divided up by months. So you read your 5 themes, your forecast in the front, but then you can every month has calendar pages with enough room to write, moon sign pages, and and all the transits are marked, and then you can read what they mean. So you're always
Daily
you can find your
companion. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And people are loving those. And then there's one more way that we're bringing the book to life all year. We just started a membership. We've been working on membership plans over the last few years, and we've been focusing a lot on entrepreneurs, but we realized that everybody loves productivity. And one of our ways of getting the clients that we work with always, we've had amazing results over the past year. Someone wrote a screenplay, another person's getting engaged, someone visited their ancestral homeland, but we teach people how to do that in micro doses, like little sprints, because we get so overwhelmed. So our membership is called the Astrotwins Network, and we're meeting every new moon and every full moon. The new moons are planting seeds, and the full moons are the celebration and the harvest. We can reset our intentions. That membership also allows us to also do one class a month where you get to learn one bite at a time about your chart, because astrology can be a little overwhelming. So we're super excited. It's very affordable, $29 a month. And that's something we're really excited to offer, because that way the book becomes a living journey, and you get to connect to us directly in the membership, and we get to answer questions for you. And we're super excited about that. We already started it on the 12/12 new moon, and we did an abundance Sagittarius new moon ritual. So very
Yeah, and the reason we really wanted to do that is because, there's that book Start With Why that everybody loves.
Yeah.
But our people, and probably your people, they already know their why. They know why they want to live their purpose, and they probably even know what their purpose is in a lot of cases. Maybe they don't trust it or believe in it, or don't believe that it has value or that it's worth sharing. Like they don't feel enough that they matter, or that oh my God, everyone's going to think I'm crazy if I do this. But they know. But so what we're doing is like, no, you're not. You came here for a reason. So you know your what and you know your why, at least to some extent. But what people don't know is how. So the astrology and manifesting work that we bring together in the Astrotwins Network and in the books is like really, it's like gives you those specific guardrails, or whatever you want to call it, guideposts, like so that you actually
and
dig
GPS.
yourself out of that resignation and just and feel empowered to take action. Oh, I can do it on this date. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, so if I could give a message to anyone that's listening, is like, if your intuition is telling you that you're supposed to be doing something, you probably are. Most astrology readings are never surprising. They're more validating. It's like, but nobody wants to so we get to write people a permission slip to experiment with what they're feeling called to do versus just like, oh no, I shouldn't do that. That's not practical. That's not this. So that's what we
And the
really love
stars
doing.
really are that. They are the best roadmap for every year. So I mean, we just and anyone who wants to find out about it can just follow us on Instagram at Astrotwins, and in our link in bio, there's you can go right to the book or Astrotwins Network and find out a whole lot more about each of them. But yeah, it's
So
really
great.
this is our 13th year writing the book, so it's been an in-demand roadmap for people for their year.
So great. I'm like, yes to the book. I love the community idea. I think it's brilliant and it's needed. And what I also love is it honors, especially for those identifying with the feminine energy and female connection, when you honor the moon. I have found, and I also want to highlight, I love what you said about trusting your intuition and then linking that also with, those seeds you're planting, the harvest. I love how you structured it. It's beautiful. It's really
Thank you.
so beautiful. Quickly before, I know we have to wrap in a moment, I did want to ask, I don't know if you can do this quickly, but to just give like the highlight reel for 2025. I think that can be helpful because we don't know the president, what's going to happen in November. We have Chiron coming. So is there like, I don't know if you've looked ahead yet. Is there any like highlight reel for 2025 that maybe we can just also kind of keep our head up and be like, all right, lots of change. And so maybe the hopeful part of 2025.
Yeah, I could say a couple of points ahead. That year we'll have Jupiter and Gemini and Cancer. So Jupiter is happiest it's very happy in Cancer in the second part of the year. So we will, while we may have still be working a lot of things out in the first half of 25, we will come home to a more caring, connected piece of ourselves. Pluto will still be in Aquarius. Saturn will be still in Pisces. But we're going to see a mature version of those phases because it's the last full year of Saturn.
A lot more watery energy.
A lot more water. And one of the predictions we made in our 2024 book is that big psychedelics will replace big pharma because of the Saturn and Pisces. So we probably are going to see a lot more embracing of, real healing medicines. I'm not pro or against, this is just what we've observed, that to treat people and actually give us access to those other interdimensional parts of ourselves and neighbors. And then the nodes, the karmic nodes, are going to be in Virgo and Pisces, which are the two healing signs. So we are hopefully going to reconnect to the earth and to water and hopefully see, another big surprise from transcendent leadership and everything else happening is like unprecedented solutions to the climate crisis could arise. Like how we, just someone was telling me, a friend who like could take an actual like bed or chair or something and just like completely disintegrate it into like I don't know what it was. It was something that was too AI above my pay grade when he first told me. He was in Aquarius, so he's always 10 light years ahead. But we keep trying to solve problems at the level they were created with known solutions, and that's not happening. So 24 and 25 are moving us into like bust out of the known paradigm into that other, transcend into the other dimension of possibilities. Catch yourself if you keep getting, it's so easy to get dragged into the people wars, and it's like, no, you got to take a stand for love and connection, in yourself, with yourself. It's so tempting to fight. You get such a charge, you get a rush of chemicals. We're all guilty of it, but it's not adding to what are you feeding, So that's what I see for the next 2 years.
Beautiful. Last question for each of you. This show, obviously, about being your, most authentic self, your you-est you. All of us have our own unique thumbprints. Any advice given, and I know you don't know what everybody's unique thumbprint is, advice.
You're asking twins. I've opened her phone with
Yeah.
Face ID
I
before,
have
so I don't
Oh
know.
my
Do we have
gosh.
any comfort?
yeah.
That's so crazy. Hold on. Wait, you do not have, I did not know that. So I feel really,
No, I know. We didn't either, but we
you have the
tested it
same
out now.
Yeah,
thumbprint.
we tested it out. Biometrics have and multiples, but I know what you mean. Of course,
Mic
we're still
drop
very
moment for
different.
me.
So,
Wow.
so are you going to ask how people can be their You-est you in 2024?
Yes, advice.
Because we have a lot of support for that. The North Node. So we didn't talk about the lunar nodes, and that's a quick thing a great missing piece to take us out. The North Node, which is our collective destiny point, is in Aries, countered by the South Node, which is in Libra. That's where we need to dig in deep and then funnel it there. So Libra is a sign of peace, love, justice, harmony, um, peaceful solutions, negotiation. So to be your You-est you and put always go back to love and ask yourself, am I coming from love? Before you put anything out there, make sure you're, and Ophi alluded to that a minute ago, just going into will this divide or connect? Because there's, and if you feel that it's going to divide, work with it a little bit longer. We don't have to, connecting in that Libra way is not about being complicit or, compromising to the point of sacrifice. But where are the win-wins? And am I willing to do that? If not, you may want to go elsewhere. Maybe that's not the right fit for you. But if you can come from a place of love and still express yourself authentically, you're on the right track in 2024.
Amen to
I
that.
concur.
Yeah.
We can leave it at that.
There
I
it
think
is.
that's better. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Astrotwins, I feel like Wonder Twin, like I'm sure you've gotten that joke many times. Like we need our rings.
Oh, yeah. Sugar
Yes.
powers. Yes.
Activate.
Activate.
There it is.
Woo! This
Aw, the Sag huddle is always so wonderful, and I love your necklace so much.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
Thank you. I was trying to channel the Phoenix Rising this coming year. I was like, we're ready. And I love, love, love how this am I coming from love? To me, that's really the only question ever. And you nailed it. You guys, I think that is the best advice there can be. And
That's all there is, right?
there is. Yeah. We can just tap into it at any time. Thank you both. You're both fantastic and
You.
grateful. And I know from the whole You-est you community and beyond, just thank you for sharing so much wisdom and heart. And it's a gift to be here. I hope you'll join me for 2025. Goodness.
Oh yeah,
Of
we'll have
course.
to talk about
Consider it
that
done.
Jupiter and Cancer and the watery vibes of
They're
that.
watery vibes. I love it.
Wonderful. But in the meanwhile, transcend, everyone. Transcend. Whatever that means. Yeah. Maybe to the upper planes where the light beings are, right?
Bring back
Love
a
it.
Pleiadian for us if you're up there. So
Exactly.
Bring back some of those light beings, please, to planet Earth. We're ready.
Please.
The stars are showing it.
Please,
We're ready.
Pleiadians.
Well,
Can't wait to share this with everyone. And yay. Mwah.
thank you.
Okay.
my friend, I'm so grateful and honored to be here with you on your journey and being your You-est you. Thank you for watching this episode, for being part of this incredible community and this mission to really step into your light, to your highest purpose. I believe that as we all do that, we all can really be our best selves and uplift consciousness and in humanity. So thank you. I also wanted to say that if you are looking for greater support right now, maybe you're having a health concern or you're looking to really step into that next version, best version of yourself, please come connect with me, whether it's for more resources or coaching or guidance. I would love to support you in any way that I can. Just go to juliereisler.com. You can book a powerful one-on-one breakthrough session there. You can connect with me. I would love to meet you. I'd love to hear how I can be on this journey with you. And before I forget, if you'd like a little more of this good vibe tribe and would like to digest these episodes with a high vibe community, just go to Facebook and look up the You-est YOU Podcast community. You'll find us there. Love always. And thank you so much for taking the time and energy to truly stepping into your authenticity and being your You-est YOU.